The 1960s, a time when farming in America changed forever. This was the decade when tractors grew bigger, stronger, and smarter than ever before. From John Deere's legendary 4020 to the mighty Allis-Chalmers D21, these machines didn't just plow fields, they redefined what it meant to farm. But here's the twist. While some of these tractors became legends, others quietly shaped agriculture and then faded into history. Today we're digging deep into 10 tractors from the 1960s that made the most impact on farming, and number 7 will make you look at tractor history in a whole new way. Number 1. John Deere 4020, 1963 to 1972. When John Deere introduced the 4020 in 1963, it wasn't just another model in their lineup, it was a revolution. With over 184,000 units produced, the 4020 became the single most popular row crop tractor of the 1960s and one of the most beloved tractors in agricultural history. Farmers quickly recognized its reliability, versatility, and unmatched performance for the era. The 4020 came equipped with Deere's 404 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine, available in both gasoline and diesel versions. The diesel was by far the most popular, offering 95 PTO horsepower, a big leap from the tractors of the 1950s. This power level allowed the 4020 to handle larger implements, reducing the time farmers needed in the field and dramatically increasing productivity. Another major innovation was Deere's PowerShift transmission, a fully PowerShift 8-speed gearbox that allowed operators to change gears without clutching. For farmers accustomed to grinding gearboxes, this was a game changer. Equally important was the comfort and safety built into the 4020. It came with Deere's RollGuard rollover protection system, an early form of rollover protection that could save lives during accidents. The hydraulic system was also advanced, providing responsive power steering and allowing easy hookup of modern implements. The 3-point hitch and live hydraulics made the tractor a versatile workhorse that could be used for plowing, planting, baling, and hauling. The cultural impact of the 4020 was massive. At a time when many farmers were reluctant to invest in expensive new machines, the 4020 proved its worth with durability that often lasted decades. Many 4020s are still in use today, earning a reputation for being nearly indestructible. Collectors and restorers prize them, and they remain one of Deere's most iconic tractors. The 4020 changed farming forever by setting new standards for horsepower, operator comfort, and versatility. It bridged the gap between the small row crop tractors of the past and the modern high-horsepower machines of today. More than any other tractor of the 1960s, the John Deere 4020 defined the decade and continues to be remembered as the tractor that just kept going. Number 2. International Harvester Farm All 806, 1963 to 1967. When International Harvester released the Farmall 806 in 1963, it signaled a bold step forward in the horsepower race of the 1960s. Farmers were asking for larger tractors to match the trend toward bigger implements, wider plows, and faster fieldwork. The 806 answered the call, offering an impressive 94 PTO horsepower in diesel form, making it one of the most powerful row crop tractors of its time. The 806 was available in both gasoline and diesel versions, but the diesel quickly became the farmer's favorite. It was powered by IH's 361 cubic inch 6-cylinder diesel engine, renowned for its rugged durability and ability to handle long hours in the field without overheating. For farmers who preferred gas, IH offered a 301 cubic inch gasoline engine, though by the mid-60s the trend toward diesel was undeniable. One of the most important innovations of the 806 was its hydraulic system. It featured IH's advanced hydraulic control, with 2 remote valves and a 3-point hitch, giving it the ability to work with a wider range of implements. Farmers appreciated the live hydraulics, which allowed smoother operation of hydraulic tools even while changing gears. This made the 806 not only powerful but versatile, capable of plowing, planting, cultivating, baling, and harvesting with ease. The Farm All 806 also represented a step forward in comfort. While it didn't yet have the enclosed cabs that would become standard later, its operator platform was designed for easier access, with better placement of controls and a more comfortable seat. Many farmers remarked that it felt less like riding on a machine and more like being part of it, an important consideration for long workdays. Number 3. Ford 5000, 1965 to 1976. Ford may have been better known in the 1940s and 50s for smaller utility tractors like the 8N, but by the mid-1960s, it needed a machine that could compete in the growing mid-sized tractor market. The answer came in 1965 with the introduction of the Ford 5000. This tractor became one of Ford's greatest successes worldwide, and in the US, it helped solidify the company's reputation as more than just a maker of small farm tractors. The Ford 5000 was rated at around 70 PTO horsepower, powered by a 4-cylinder diesel engine, later upgraded to a 256 cubic inch displacement. This put it right in the sweet spot for medium to large farms that needed a reliable workhorse for plowing, baling, and heavy pulling. While smaller than giants like the John Deere 4020 or Farmall 806, the 5000 was exceptionally efficient, affordable, and durable. One of its standout features was its Selecto-Speed transmission option, an advanced power-shift gearbox that allowed operators to change speeds without using the clutch. Though controversial at the time, some farmers distrusted its complexity. Those who mastered it swore by its convenience. The standard 8-speed manual transmission was more popular, but Ford's willingness to innovate showed its commitment to modernizing farming practices. The Ford 5000 was also known for its excellent hydraulics and 3-point hitch system. Farmers could easily attach a wide variety of implements, and the tractor's balanced design made it versatile enough for tillage, planting, and haymaking. It became especially popular among livestock farmers, who needed a tractor that could both handle field work and be nimble around barns and feedlots. Globally, the Ford 5000 was a runaway success, with thousands exported to Europe, Africa, and Asia. In the US, it gave Ford a stronger presence in the mid-range tractor market, competing directly with Deere's smaller row crop models and International's utility tractors. Number 4. Massey Ferguson 1100, 1964 to 1972. By the 1960s, Massey Ferguson had established itself as a global player in farm equipment. The MF35 and MF65 had been staples of the 1950s, but the company knew it needed bigger, more powerful tractors to meet the growing needs of commercial farms. Enter the Massey Ferguson 1100, introduced in 1964. With about 95 PTO horsepower, it was MF's first true high-horsepower row crop tractor, designed to compete directly with Deere's 4020 and IH's 806. The MF 1100 was powered by a Perkins A6.354 6-cylinder diesel engine, one of the most respected engines of the era. Known for reliability and fuel efficiency, the Perkins engine gave the 1100 a reputation as a tractor that could work all day without complaint. A gasoline version was also available, but diesel quickly became the dominant choice. One of the MF 1100's most important innovations was its multi-power transmission. This gave farmers the ability to shift on the go between high and low ranges without clutching, essentially doubling the number of available gears. While not a full power shift, it was a practical and affordable way to provide greater control under load. Farmers especially appreciated this feature when baling hay or working in variable field conditions. The hydraulics and 3-point hitch system on the MF 1100 were also highly advanced. Massey Ferguson had pioneered the use of draft control in the 1940s with the Ferguson system, and by the 1960s this feature was refined to perfection. The 1100's hitch allowed precise depth control for plows, reducing fuel use and improving efficiency. Farmers liked the 1100 because it was straightforward, reliable, and tough. It wasn't flashy, but it delivered the power and performance needed for the growing farms of the 1960s. The open operator station was roomy and well laid out, making long hours more bearable compared to earlier designs. Number 5. Oliver 1800, 1960 to 1964. The Oliver 1800 was launched right at the start of the 1960s, and it quickly became one of the defining tractors of the early decade. Rated at about 77 PTO horsepower, the 1800 wasn't the largest tractor on the market, but it was one of the most versatile and advanced for its time. Farmers loved Oliver for its innovation and reliability, and the 1800 carried that tradition forward. One of the 1800's biggest claims to fame was its choice of engines. Farmers could buy it with a Waukesha-built gasoline engine, a GM 2-cycle diesel, or a Perkins 4-stroke diesel. This flexibility allowed farmers to select the fuel type that best suited their operation at a time when diesel was beginning to overtake gasoline in popularity. The diesel versions proved particularly efficient and durable, helping cement diesel's dominance in the decade ahead. Another key feature of the 1800 was Oliver's Hydra power drive. This was essentially a two-speed power shift that allowed operators to change speeds without clutching. Though not as advanced as Deere's power shift or Ford's Selecto speed, it was reliable and simple to use, and many farmers found it to be the perfect balance between innovation and practicality. The 1800 was also known for its excellent hydraulic system and three-point hitch, which gave it the ability to handle a wide variety of implements with ease. Its operator platform was comfortable and well laid out for the time, with good visibility and easy-to-reach controls. Many farmers remarked that the 1800 was one of the smoothest driving tractors they had ever used, thanks to Oliver's attention to weight balance and steering design. In the field, the 1800 could handle 4 bottom plows, large planters, and heavy haying equipment without breaking a sweat. It was versatile enough to be used as both a primary tillage tractor and a general-purpose machine around the farm. For medium-sized farms, the 1800 was the ideal balance of power, efficiency, and affordability. The Oliver 1800's legacy lies in how it pushed farmers toward the new era of high-horsepower diesel tractors while still remaining accessible. Though Oliver as a brand eventually faded after being absorbed into white farm equipment, the 1800 is still fondly remembered by collectors and farmers who used it. It stands as one of the best examples of Oliver's engineering in the 1960s, reliable, innovative, and ahead of its time. Number 6. Allis-Chalmers D21, 1963 to 1969. When Allis-Chalmers unveiled the D21 in 1963, it shocked the farming world. Rated at 103 PTO horsepower, it was the first row crop tractor to break the 100 horsepower barrier, a milestone that instantly set it apart. At a time when most row crop tractors were in the 70 to 95 horsepower range, the D21 represented a leap into a new era of big power farming. The D21 was powered by an Allis-Chalmers 426 cubic inch 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. This engine delivered massive torque and allowed the tractor to pull larger implements than anything else in its class. Farmers who had been running 4 bottom plows suddenly found themselves able to pull 5 or 6 bottom plows, dramatically increasing efficiency in the field. But it wasn't just the power that made the D21 stand out. Allis-Chalmers also designed it with a bold modern look, long and low, with squared-off sheet metal and a wide stance. It looked futuristic compared to the more traditional styling of Deere or IH tractors of the time. Farmers noticed another important feature was its comfort and ergonomics. The operator's station was elevated, giving excellent visibility, and the controls were logically arranged. The seat was well cushioned for long hours in the field, and the tractor's power steering and hydraulics made operation relatively easy despite its size. While it lacked the enclosed cabs that would appear in the following decade, the D21 was still considered comfortable for its era. The D21 had its critics. Some farmers complained that it was too big for certain row crop tasks, and early versions without a turbocharger were underpowered relative to the tractor's size. Allis-Chalmers quickly responded with the D21 Series 2 in 1965, which came with a turbocharged engine delivering even more power and reliability. Number 7. Case 930, Comfort King, 1960 to 1969. Case entered the 1960s with a strong reputation for durable, reliable tractors, and the 930 Comfort King cemented that reputation. Introduced in 1960, the Case 930 was rated at around 85 PTO horsepower, placing it in the upper mid-range of tractors for the time. What made it stand out was not just its power, but its operator comfort and innovative design features. The Comfort King nickname came from its redesigned operator platform. Unlike earlier tractors that left the driver sitting low between the rear fenders, the 930 elevated the operator's seat above the transmission, giving excellent visibility and a more commanding position. Controls were more accessible, and the seat itself was one of the most comfortable of its era. Farmers who spent 10-12 hours in the field immediately noticed the difference, and many praised Case for finally making long workdays more tolerable. Under the hood, The Case 930 featured a 6-cylinder diesel engine displacing 401 cubic inches. It was reliable, fuel-efficient, and capable of handling heavy tillage work with ease. Case also offered a gasoline version, but diesel was far more popular among serious farmers. The tractor's transmission was a simple but robust 8-speed manual, known for its durability and ease of service. Another hallmark of the 930 was its rugged construction. Case tractors were famous for their heavy cast-iron components, and the 930 was no exception. It was built to last, and many are still running today on farms across the Midwest. Farmers also appreciated its versatility. The 930 could handle heavy plows and cultivators in the field, but was still maneuverable enough for utility work around the farm. The 930's impact was twofold. First, it reinforced the trend toward higher horsepower diesel tractors for larger farms. Second, it introduced the idea that operator comfort was more than a luxury. It was a necessity. By branding the tractor Comfort King, Case shifted the conversation toward ergonomics, paving the way for the fully enclosed cabs of the 1970s. Number 8. Case 1030, Comfort King, 1966 to 1969. If the Case 930 made farmers pay attention to operator comfort, the Case 1030 took that same philosophy and turned it into one of the most powerful and respected tractors of the 1960s. Introduced in 1966, the 1030 was rated at around 103 PTO horsepower, putting it squarely in competition with the Allis-Chalmers D21 and John Deere 4020. It quickly earned a reputation as a reliable, fuel-efficient powerhouse that could handle nearly any job on the farm. The Case 1030 was powered by a 6-cylinder 451 cubic inch diesel engine, which provided excellent torque and efficiency. Farmers appreciated how the engine delivered steady pulling power even under heavy loads. A gasoline version was technically available, but like with most tractors of this size in the 1960s, diesel was the overwhelmingly popular choice. The 1030's 8-speed manual transmission was rugged and dependable, and while it lacked some of the advanced power shift options seen in competitors, it was simple to maintain and nearly indestructible. What truly set the 1030 apart was its balance of power and comfort. Building on the Comfort King design introduced with the 930, the 1030 elevated the operator platform for greater visibility, with well-positioned controls and a suspension seat that made long days much easier. Farmers noted that they could work more efficiently because they were less fatigued after hours in the seat. This was a key innovation in an era when operator comfort was just beginning to be recognized as essential. In the field, the 1030 could easily handle 5 or 6 bottom plows, large cultivators, and heavy haying equipment. On the Great Plains, where large fields demanded efficiency, the 1030 was especially popular. It provided the muscle that mid- to large-scale farmers needed, but without excessive complexity or high maintenance costs. The 1030's impact was significant because it demonstrated that Case could compete directly with Deere and IH in the high horsepower market. While it never outsold the John Deere 4020, it gave loyal Case farmers a powerful and dependable alternative. Today, the Case 1030 is remembered as one of the best tractors of the 1960s. Collectors prize it not just for its capabilities, but for its role in pushing the boundaries of what a row crop tractor could be. Number 9. John Deere 3020, 1964 to 1972. Overshadowed by its bigger brother, the legendary 4020, the John Deere 3020 nonetheless played a critical role in the 1960s. Introduced in 1964 as part of Deere's new generation line, the 3020 was rated at about 71 PTO horsepower, making it a versatile tractor for medium-sized farms. While the 4020 grabbed the headlines, the 3020 quietly became one of Deere's best-selling tractors, with over 74,000 units produced. The 3020 was available in both gasoline and diesel versions, though diesel quickly became the dominant choice. It used Deere's 270 cubic inch 4-cylinder diesel engine, which provided reliable power and excellent fuel economy. Farmers who didn't want diesel could opt for a gasoline or LP gas version, reflecting the transitional nature of tractor fuels in the mid-1960s. One of the 3020's standout features was Deere's optional power shift transmission, which allowed clutchless shifting between 8 forward and 4 reverse gears. For farmers accustomed to grinding gears, this was a huge convenience, especially when doing jobs like baling hay or loader work that required frequent speed changes. Those who preferred simplicity could stick with the standard synchro-range transmission, which was also well regarded. The 3020 also offered advanced hydraulics, with Deere's closed-center hydraulic system providing fast, responsive power for implements. This gave it an edge over many competitors in terms of versatility. Farmers could use the 3020 for everything from tillage to planting, haymaking, and utility work. Its compact size compared to the 4020 made it particularly popular on livestock farms, where maneuverability around barns and feedlots was important. The 3020's operator station was another selling point. Deere designed the controls with ergonomics in mind, and the roll guard ROPS option added safety. Though it didn't have a cab, the tractor was still comfortable by 1960s standards. Number 10. Minneapolis-Moline G1000 1965 to 1969. The Minneapolis-Moline G1000 was one of the boldest tractors of the 1960s, representing the peak of the company's engineering before its decline and eventual absorption into white farm equipment. Introduced in 1965, the G1000 delivered an impressive 105 PTO horsepower, putting it in direct competition with the Allis-Chalmers D21, Case 1030, and John Deere 4020. It was one of the first tractors to offer over 100 horsepower in a row crop configuration, making it a pioneer in the push for bigger, stronger tractors. The G1000 was powered by a massive 504 cubic inch six-cylinder diesel engine, which provided enormous torque and pulling power. A gasoline version was also available, but like other tractors of its size, diesel was the preferred choice for serious farmers. The G1000's engine was praised for its ability to handle heavy loads without bogging down, making it ideal for big plows, large drills, and other demanding implements. One of the G1000's unique features was its operator platform. Minneapolis-Moline emphasized comfort and visibility, with an elevated seat and well-placed controls. The tractor also offered a 10-speed transmission, giving operators flexibility for different field conditions. For farmers who wanted even more power, the G1000 Vista variant was introduced, which included a raised operator platform and additional design tweaks for better comfort. In the field, the G1000 was a true powerhouse. It could easily handle 6 bottom plows and other large implements, making it a favorite among farmers with big acreages to cover. Its sheer pulling ability earned it respect, even if it never sold in the same numbers as Deere or IH competitors. The G1000's impact was significant because it demonstrated that Minneapolis-Moline could compete in the high horsepower race of the 1960s. Unfortunately, the company's financial struggles prevented it from capitalizing fully on the tractor's success. Within a few years, was absorbed into White, and its brand gradually disappeared. Today, the G1000 is remembered as one of the boldest tractors of the decade, a machine that gave smaller manufacturers a seat at the table in the horsepower wars. Collectors prize it not only for its rarity, but also for its role as a symbol of what Minneapolis-Moline could achieve at its peak. And there you have it, 10 tractors from the 1960s that transformed farming forever. These machines were more than just tools. They were the workhorses that powered a new era of American agriculture. Some became icons, others were forgotten, but every single one left its mark on the land and the farmers who relied on them. Which of these tractors do you think had the biggest impact? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your pick. And if you enjoyed this trip back through tractor history, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the machines that built modern farming. Until next time, keep those engines running and those fields growing.